Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing great today. In today's video, we're going to look at how to upgrade our database. Specifically, we'll be upgrading our 19C database to 21C. The steps involved in this process can be really long, so I advise you grab a cup of coffee and relax while I walk you through the process of upgrading your database. As you can see, I'm logged in through the PuTTY session. I'm currently connected as the root user. So as the first requirement, you want to ensure that the Oracle user is part of the group upper. This is a major requirement. So as root, you're going to run the command id Oracle. Now you can see that the user Oracle is actually part of the group upper. So that requirement has been met. Now the next thing we want to try to do is to switch user to the Oracle user. So I'm going to quickly do that. su /Oracle. Now I'm logged in as the Oracle user, and the next thing I want to do is to connect to SQL Plus /assistdba. Now I'm connected. You can see that this is a 19C database and we're going to upgrade it to 21C. But before we do that, we need to carry out some preparatory steps. And this is what I'll be showing you. So first things first, let's look at the parameter show parameter remote underscore login underscore password file. Now you can see that the value is exclusive. In reality, yes, this has to be set to either exclusive or none. So since it's already set to exclusive, we really do not need to do anything, okay? So the next thing we want to do is to purge the recycle bin. So for that, I'll issue the command purge dba underscore recycle bin. Just in case there are any dropped objects, maybe like tables or any other objects that have been dropped, you need to purge them from the recycle bin so that you don't consume more space and you don't move them over to the upgraded database, right? So I've just purged the recycle bin for the root container. If you have pluggable databases, you need to do the same for all of them. Again, I'm going to alter the session and then move to the container of my pluggable database, right? We should be familiar with that command by now. Alter session set container equal to PDB1. Whatever the name of your pluggable database is, you can alter the session and do same. Now I'm going to purge the recycle bin. So now that the recycle bin has been purged, I'm going to move the session back to the root container. So for that, I'll execute the command alter session set container equal to cdb $root. And then what I want to try to do is to gather statistics. These are all of the requirements that needs to be carried out before your upgrade. So I'm going to gather statistics. I just executed the command execute dbms underscore stats underscore gather underscore dictionary underscore stats. It's a PL/SQL procedure. Okay, you can see that the procedure has been successfully completed. Now, we also need to gather statistics for fixed objects. So for that, I'll execute the procedure dbms underscore stats dot gather underscore fixed underscore objects underscore stats. Again, you can see that the procedure has been successfully completed. Now you want to repeat the same process for all the pluggable databases you have, okay? So in this case, we have just one pluggable database. So I'm going to alter the session to move to that pluggable database by running the command alter session set container equal to PDB1. and then the session has been altered. Okay, so I'm also going to gather statistics the same way I did for the root container. Now that has been completed, I'll execute the second procedure for fixed objects. Okay, we can see that the procedure has been successfully completed. Now the next thing I want to try to do is exit from this SQL prompt. Let me clear this. Now I need to create a directory which will be your Oracle home for your 21C. So for that, I'll run the command mkdir -p/u01/app/oracle/product/21.0.0/db_1. That has been done. Now to save our time, I already downloaded the 21C software and it's right there in my shared folder, the folder that is shared between my hosting PC and my virtual machine. Okay, let me just quickly show it to you so you can see what I mean. You can see the 21C software and then the most recent auto upgrade file. These files have already been downloaded. Now, the next thing I want to try to do is to unzip the 21C software to the directory we just created, the Oracle home we just created for the 21C. So for that, I would give the command unzip and then give the location of the 21C software and the name, and then also give the location where we're extracting it to. Okay, so let's just run this and wait for this to finish unzipping. Okay, so we can see that the unzip process is complete. Now let me clear this to keep my screen neat. And then the next thing I want to try to do is to copy the password file from the 19C home to the 21C home. Okay, so for that, I'll execute the command copy and then give the location of the password file for the 19C to the location of the password file for 21C. Let's quickly execute that. Now that is done. The next thing we want to try to do is to log on to our VirtualBox window, right? Because we'll need to run the installation from the GUI. So let me quickly go to my VirtualBox and then try to log in as the Oracle user. I'll quickly open a terminal. And then the first thing I want to do is to export the Oracle home, the same Oracle home we created earlier on. And then the next thing I want to do is to change directory. So for that, I'll use the cd command. That has been done. And then the next thing I want to do is to run the installer. So for that, we use /run installer. You can see the 21C installer has been launched. Let me make this bold so you can see what we are doing. Now, what we need to do is to just choose setup software only, okay? And then click on next. And then we leave the default single instance database installation. Click on next. Leave the default enterprise edition. Click on next. And then the Oracle base has been selected already. Software location is indicated and correctly so. So we'll just click on next. Now we're going to leave this as it is and click on next. Let's mark the automatically run configuration scripts. Now for that, we'll need to provide the root password because these scripts normally are supposed to be run with the root privilege. So to save you the stress of having to run the scripts manually, you just mark the automatically run configuration scripts and then provide the root password. So that has been done. I'll click on next. Okay, so the checks have just been made and everything seemed to be okay. So we'll go ahead and click the install. And this will install our 21C software. Now remember, we're only installing the software. we are not creating a database because we want to upgrade our database from 19C to 21C, right? All right, so this will take some time. I'll pause the video and then come back if there's any action to be executed. So you can see at 68%, it will ask you for permission to run the configuration scripts. This is because we selected the option to automatically run configuration scripts. So I'll just go ahead and click yes. And then you can see the registration of Oracle database was successful, right? So let's go ahead and close this. And then let me minimize this. Now we are back to our POTC terminal. Okay, the next thing we want to try to do is to copy the auto upgrade file that I showed you earlier. Remember, you need to download this from Oracle support. Okay, so first of all, move the current one and save it as a backup. So I'll use the move command, save it as a backup, and then I'll copy the most recent one from where I saved it, which is the shared folder that I have. So I'll just copy it to the 21C home directory. Now that has been done. At this point, if you don't have enough space, I'll advise you to delete any archive log that you may have. So for that, we'll run the rman utility. Now you can see that it's asking if I really want to delete the archive logs. You can see how many there are, about 20. So I'll just type Y for yes, and it will delete all the archive logs. Okay. Now I'm going to exit this and clear my screen to keep this place organized. Now in preparation to upgrade the database using the auto upgrade utility, I'll first make a directory. This is a temporary directory, /home/oracle/auto upgrade, okay? And then the next thing I want to try to do is to create a configuration file. So the configuration file has been created. All I need to do is just to hit the enter key. And that's it. And then the next thing I want to do is to export the 21C home. You can see the command export oracle_home and then give the full path for the 21C. Enter. Also export the path variable. And then now we're going to run the auto upgrade utility, but then we'll run it in what is known as analyze mode. In this mode, we are not actually running the utility. We just want to check if there are any warnings or if there are any further steps we need to take. Okay, so I'll execute this command, and then you can see that I'm using the mode analyze. That means I'm running the utility in analyze mode. So let's enter and see how it goes. You can see it's acting as though it wants to start upgrade, but it's actually not upgrading the database. It's only analyzing all the steps and everything just to ensure that all the process has been done successfully. Now, this can take some time. You can see that it's showing you that there's one CDB and two PDBs that will be analyzed. That's the seed PDB and then our user created PDB, which is PDB1. If you look at the report, the message shown, it says, please check the summary report at this location. And it's actually a HTML file. So it means we have to open this with a browser. So let's quickly go back to our VirtualBox window and see how we can do that. Now for that, we just type the word Firefox and then we take the entire location of the message that was shown. And then this file will open with the browser. So this is a summary of the report. Now what we want to try to do is to click on check reports to see some recommendations. Now, if you watch closely, there are some recommendations. Like if you click on this pre-checks, it will take you to some of the warnings and some of the things you need to do, some of the actions you need to carry out. So let's quickly correct this and then see how it goes. I'll just close this report and then come back to our POTI session. And the next thing I want to do is to source the bash profile, the Oracle bash profile, and connect as the sysdba. And then as part of the recommendation, I'm going to increase the DB recovery file destination size slightly to 15 gig. Okay, that has been done with the alter system command. And then I'll alter this session and move to the pluggable database. Now, one of the recommendations that report gave is for us to disable gathering of statistics in the pluggable database, okay, which I'll just do now with this command. And then another recommendation was to compile invalid objects. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, so that has been done. Let me exit this point. And then we are going to run the auto upgrade utility in analyze mode again. So once again, the analysis has been done. So let's check the report. For that, we'll go to our VirtualBox. Let me use Ctrl+C here. And then let's open the file again using Mozilla Firefox. Okay, at this point, I think everything is ready. Yeah, I think we are ready to upgrade. And then these are all of the components that it has checked. So let's quickly close this. Ctrl+C. I'll minimize this. And then let me clear my screen to keep this organized. Now that we've gotten to this stage, it is advised that you take a backup of your database, of the source database. It's very important. Take a backup of the source database just in case anything goes wrong. You can always recover from your backup. Okay? So as we prepare to run the upgrade, the first thing you want to do is to copy the network configuration files from the 19C home to the 21C home. Okay, so the first file to be copied is the tnsnames.ora file, because the auto upgrade utility does not copy this file for you, so you have to do it yourself. So that has been done. And then the next file to be copied is the sqlnet.ora file. So you can see we are copying the sqlnet.ora from the 19C home to the 21C home. Now, the next thing you want to try to do is to delete the listener from the 19C home, because we want the listener to run from the 21C home, okay? So we go back to our VirtualBox window. Let me also clear this now. And then we export the 19C home. Now we can run the netca utility from the 19C home so that we can delete the listener that is running in our 19C home. So for that, I'll execute the command, the Oracle 19C home /bin/netca. Click on next, click on delete and click on next. The default listener is selected already. Click on next. Just go ahead and say yes. Click on next, and finish. So that has been done. Clear? Our next step will be to run the netca from the 21C DB home. Now to do that, we have to first export the 21C Oracle home. Remember, we just did for the 19C Oracle home. So we need to export that. That has been done. And then we'll run the netca from that location. So you can see, click on next, then leave it at the default add, click on next. This is the listener utility, click on next. Leave the default TCP, click on next. Use the standard port number of 1521, click on next. Would you like to configure another listener? Leave it at no, click on next. click on next and click on finish. So we have successfully created the listener in the 21C Oracle Home. Now let me minimize this and then let's go back to our PuTTY session. Again, I want to clear this. So now we are ready to deploy the auto upgrade utility. So to run the utility, we'll run that command again, but this time the mode will be deploy instead of analyze, okay? So let's go ahead and hit enter. You can now see that the upgrade has started. Now this entire process can take up to 1 hour. So get your coffee while I walk you through this process. Meanwhile, I'm going to have to pause the recording again till it gets to a point where we need to do any other thing. But before I pause, there are a few commands you can use to monitor the upgrade process. The first one is LSJ. Now this will list the jobs that are currently running in the upgrade process. So enter, and then you can see the jobs that are running. This is the job ID, the job name, prefix of operations. You see the operation if it's executing, status is running, and then you can see all the details. Now the next monitoring command that you can use is status. This will give you the status of each job. And then the next one you can use to monitor is the task. So you can see all the tasks to be performed, what is waiting, what is runnable, and all whatnot. So guys, at this point, I'm going to have to pause the video until the upgrade process is finished. Okay guys, so you can see that the upgrade process is completed. Now look at the messages displayed. First things first, you will see that the jobs have been finished. You can see the number 1. This is the display message. Okay, jobs failed 0. Now, one of the things you want to take note of, which is very, very important, is this part here. Okay. Now it says drop guaranteed rest stop point. That's what GRP means. Guarantee rest stop point at your convenience once you consider it is no longer needed. Okay, you need to do this when you're sure that everything about the upgrade process was successful. Now, what is the guarantee rest stop point? This is the guarantee rest stop point. Auto upgrade _ 9212 _ OraDB, and then this number. Okay, so we'll drop it much more later. But first, we'll need to check our report. Let's look at the summary report at this location. Another HTML file has been generated. So let me quickly go to the VirtualBox window. All right, so one of the things we'll need to do is to go ahead and run the Firefox to open that report again. So here you can see that everything was successful. See the status, everything must be successful. So this means that our upgrade process was completed without any issues. Now, the next thing we're going to try to do, first, let me clear this to keep this real clean. The next thing we're going to try to do is to export the 21C Oracle Home. So that has just been done. And then, of course, we'll change directory to the Oracle Home bin directory. And then we'll connect as sysdba. Now, the first thing you want to observe is that we are connected to 21.3.0.0.0. Okay, this is the first indication that our database has been successfully upgraded to 21C from 19C. Okay, and then to further confirm, you're going to execute the query, select version _ full from $$ instance. If you execute this, you will see that the version is 21.3.0.0.0. Again, I'll run this query, select name, open mode from $$ database. You can see the database is open for read and write operations, right? So let's quickly exit this or clear. And then the next thing I want to do is to check the listener services to be sure that all the services are registered with the listener. So for that, I'll run the command lsnrctl space service. Now you can see that all the services have been successfully registered. So let me clear this once again. Now, there are certain steps you need to perform which are considered as post-upgrade steps. Okay. Now, the first thing you want to do is to connect as sysdba. So yes, we are connected. And then the next thing we want to do is to drop the guaranteed restore point because we have confirmed that our upgrade was successful. Now, at the end of the upgrade process, we saw the guaranteed restore point, but just in case you've forgotten what that restore point is, you can actually run this query to select the guaranteed restore point. So you can see it clearly stated. Now, what you want to do next is to drop this restore point. So I'm going to take this and then I'll type drop restore point. Restore point has been dropped. And then let me exit. Now, the next thing you want to do is to fix the Oracle home variable in the bash profile. Remember, that bash profile initially contained 19c home, right? So we're going to edit it using the VI editor. So for that, we'll open the bash profile, and then to start typing, we'll hit the key I to get into the insert mode. And then you come here to the Oracle home and then try to fix this 21, right? Escape, shift column WQ and enter to save. Now we're going to exit from this terminal and then change the user just to make that changes take effect, right? And then once again, we'll connect as sysdba and show parameter compatible. Now, the compatible parameter is still showing 19.0.0. Now, normally, after the upgrade, this parameter will still reflect the old database. So you need to change it as the DBA. And you do that when you've confirmed that everything is okay with the upgrade, like the upgrade process was successful. That's when you change this parameter. And it's very simple to do that. To change the parameter, simply run the command alter system set compatible equal to 21.0.0 scope equal to SP file. Now, because you are using scope equal to SP file, this will not take effect until you restart your database. So we have to issue the command shutdown immediate. Database has been shut down, then startup. We'll wait for the database to come up, and then we'll check the parameter once again to ensure that everything is fine. So again, we want to check the parameter. So we'll run the command show parameter compatible. And you can see that the parameter value has been changed successfully. So guys, the upgrade process has been completed. You can decide to remove the 19c Oracle Home. You can deinstall the 19c Oracle Home if you no longer need it, or you can choose to keep it just in case you still have need for it. But then in this case, if you decide to remove it, all you need to do, exit from this point. I just cleared my screen to keep this a little bit clean, and then change directory to the 19c home /deinstall, and then type ./deinstall. Just enter and then say yes. Okay, and everything is done. So to verify, run the command cat/etc/oratab. You can see that 19c is no longer there, it's 21c that is there now. So the next thing you want to do is to type cd and then remove the auto upgrade directory that you created earlier to remove all the files, just to save space. That is done. And this is the end of the upgrade process. Now, at this point, all you need to do is to take a full backup of your database along with archive logs, okay? And then apply the most recent release update patch on the new release. This is how you upgrade your database. Guys, thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. I hope this video was interesting to you. If it was, kindly like it and share it widely. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell icon so you don't miss out whenever I upload another valuable content. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.